Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. We're taking a quick look here again at Solana, double checking a few key factors here. We can obviously see that we lost this little support range there at about 127, 130, and now that's the new resistance. You can see how the price action pulled up here to reject off that level, and so far is pulling back. So again, while Solana could definitely recover, it's definitely also not looking good. The overall sentiment of the market right now is pretty poor. So I will say though, Solana isn't looking as terrible as most coins, so there's definitely a consolation there. But what we want to look at isn't consolation, we want to look at just the real data here and just kind of understand what's going on here for this coin. So for Solana, the things we want to kind of recognize here with liquidation is that there wasn't much liquidation to the downside. Okay, so that leads me to believe that with low liquidation to the downside, like we're seeing here, there's not really a lot of incentive for the price to go too much lower. So I do feel like we're probably starting to see our bottom. But once more, we don't want to be too presumptuous in that sense. Same thing here as well in the monthly. We can also see that there's not a lot of liquidation down to the downside. So really, I wouldn't say the only direction is up, but I would say that we are probably getting closer to finding our local support or our local bottom. So let's go ahead and draw a few other things here and kind of see where we're at. We're going to have to go with some larger time frame fibs and just kind of see what that tells us here. Because again, when we go with situations like this here, we want to kind of pay closer attention to the current, the current retracement areas, right? So we need to learn about support and resistances, and if we zoom out, we can see this range right now that we're in, the 120. Sorry, it was what the candle wicks down was as low as about 118, upwards of 122. So that should be somewhat of a support range here for us because you can kind of see support there, support here, and previous resistance here. Okay, so just some areas of support, you could say. While it's not super strong, it's definitely something just to be mindful of. All right, let's quickly look at the weekly and work our way down. I like to touch on the weekly time frame on Mondays just to give us perspective on what happened. And we can see a pretty strong bearish candle from last week. Big surprise there. That was a pretty bad week for all coins. We do take a look, though, of course, at RSI. We've broken below 50. This is generally unfavorable. Bitcoin and Ethereum, for example, you would think they are not as strong as Solana. They are actually above 50 in the RSI right now. Okay? So keep that in mind. We're not in, this isn't terrible, but this is certainly not fantastic. So the weekly time frame pretty much shows we're bearish on every sentiment. We lost a 20-day SMA obviously a while back. So a lot of coins are trending towards our 50-day SMA on the weekly, which is a support range, but it's also not ideal either. So again, we have some support here. If we take a look at volume, let's kind of zoom out. We have some support above us. Again, just to clarify, it's more so a resistance, 143, and of course that 130. So I would say today, if we cannot close above 130, there's a strong chance we're going to see the price action continue lower. I know it seems weird and crazy because, again, we're overextended here at this point. I mean, what? We've been moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days in a row since our last reset on 2D sequential. That's not good. There's no other way around it. We're also at 30 on the RSI. This is a common bouncing place. So generally speaking, last time we were at 30 on the RSI, we saw the price action do this. Went sideways, up, and sideways. So we're hoping for a better case scenario to get something like this here moving forward. Okay, in other words, some kind of tentative bottom so the price can kind of be range bound between the current price action and that 144 range. Okay. Again, those volume profiles that we're seeing here, they're holding the price action down now. Okay. I know it seems weird and crazy that that's essentially a thing, but the truth is that is a very, very strong resistance for us. We got to recognize that. Okay? Anyways, the daily time frame, we lost the 200 SMA now as well. There's a very, very solid chance we're going to see the price continue lower. So again, I don't really short Solana. I've only done it a couple of times in my life with very tight margins and limited success. I would not recommend shorting Solana, even though it absolutely does look like the bottom wants to drop out. Bitcoin is trending towards 60,000 to sweep that lower level liquidity. So again, there's a lot of things going on in the back end. We just got to be mindful that it's probably best to steer clear of some trades right now. At this point here, if we look at the 4-hour time frame, we're getting really close to that overextended state too. We're really close to that 30 level. And then of course, stochastic trying to swing up, but not really being all that successful. We're at an 8 on TD sequential here as well in the 4 hours. So relief rally makes sense. You just got to recognize a lot of times when we see this kind of price action, if we do not lose this 122, 123 mark, then we probably will see the price action recover moderately. I wouldn't say it's going to be phenomenal. I do feel like we're going to see a bouncing point at 60,000 for Bitcoin. I think that's a psychological support level, and that could very well hold, and we're getting close to an overextended state on a lot of altcoins, including Bitcoin and Ethereum. So my personal opinion is that we're going to see somewhat of a bounce here soon, but I don't know. It's really hard to say with Bitcoin. Take a look at the Ichimoku Cloud. We can confirm there's a lot of reasons not to take a long position. Everything's telling us that we're still seeing a bearish divergence. The furthermore, too, as well, if we do take a look at our TPO for the last 24 hours, this helps us kind of understand where we want to close for the day. The bears have controlled the price action at $126. Okay, so we're right there at that exact level. So the truth is, if we close at 126 or higher, we will have a solid consideration for a relief rally if that is the case. My speculations, we see the price relief itself up to the 130, 132 range, either reject out by this descending trend line, or we break through, retest it as a bullish, basically a bullish back test by essentially establishing higher highs and higher lows. Okay? We're a long ways from that, folks. So please, please, please try not to get too crazy with longs or shorts right now. We're in this little transition, and if you didn't catch the shorts, just wait for the next wave. Honestly, it's almost inevitable. But in the meantime, it certainly wouldn't hurt to consider, a long position that has very, very tight targets. Okay? Again, if you're considering that, we're getting close to this bouncing point here soon. But again, it just depends on how you look at it. So my speculation is that Solana will continue to suffer. I would say better case scenario, we go range bound between 122 to 130, that upper resistance range. And if we break this range here somehow, then we're going to be in a situation where we might be doing okay. Again, we just got to double check and wait. I think being patient right now is important. So I'll post this play out chart here on our Twitter, Telegram, Discord, YouTube. If you're not familiar, we have that available for you there. I always post my thoughts and relevant information. Keep in mind, Bitcoin continues to sell off, so there's no other way around it. We saw $1.1 billion sold in 7 minutes earlier today, and that's why we're here right now. Okay, so thank you, Bitcoin, and thank you, whales, for this wonderful sales. I guess that kind of rhymes. All right, thanks again, folks, for watching. I hope you learned something again. Make sure you check us out on all social medias there. Reference Bitunix to until the end of the month. They have an exclusive offer. Be sure to take advantage. It's free money just for depositing funds that you probably normally deposit anyways. No KYC or VPN. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks again for your time.